Top doctors in the country are out with an unusual warning tonight about those new street lights that we're seeing more and more of. Andrea Borba on the concern the lights could be giving off an unhealthy glow.
These LED street lamps going up all over the Bay Area and the country were hailed as the wave of the future. Energy efficient, brighter, giving everything a truer color. Even yours truly in this story from 2014. But now the American Medical Association says the technological lighting advances are bad for your health. The problem comes down to color. The old sodium lights throw off a yellow light. The new LED bulbs, blue.
So that would be a problem because anyone who's out at night and would be exposed to the blue light might make it very difficult for them to fall asleep, even without a sleep disorder such as insomnia.
Dr. Clete Kushida is the medical director at Stanford's Sleep Medicine Center. He says blue lights everywhere could turn us into a nation of sleepless zombies.
And the way it affects sleep is that it suppresses melatonin secretion. And the melatonin is important because it's one of the key hormones for helping to initiate sleep. Apple
recently introduced the night shift feature. It reduces the amount of blue light that iPhones emit at night. Now screens turn a bit warmer. Dr. Kushida says the shade of the light is important for sleep.
If a lot of the lights at night were replaced by blue wavelength light and of high intensity, that can cause individuals to have difficulty falling asleep.
In Cincinnati and across the country.
The new LED lights produce more light at half the cost of the old street lights, but there's growing concern these lights may be creating hazards on the roadway. Dwayne Pullman has the exclusive Local 12 investigation.
As night falls on the tri-state, a new brighter, whiter light is beginning to shine. Light-emitting diodes, or LEDs, are at the center of these new street lights. The LEDs produce more light using half the electricity of those old familiar high-pressure sodium lights. The lower-cost bright light combo is why LEDs are now popping up on our roads and streets, byways and highways, even in a tunnel many of you drive through. According to the Ohio Department of Transportation, approximately 1,100 LEDs now make up the 46,000 streetlights on state roads and highways. But the nation's largest group of physicians, the American Medical Association, is now warning about a potential darker side to these LED lights.
It's not a good thing, bottom line, right?
That's correct. AMA President Dr. Andrew Gurman agreed to talk with me from Altoona, Pennsylvania. Dr. Gurman believes the light emitted by these diodes can be downright hazardous. According to this official AMA report, many of the new streetlights could be considered unshielded LED lighting, which could be creating a road hazard.
Does that worry you just from the ability to drive your car in and out of these lights at night?
Well, yes, it does.
Dr. Gurman and the AMA say the potential hazard on the roads is caused by both the brightness and color of the new LED lights. Most of the LED street lights emit 4,000 kelvins, or 4,000 K.
Now the 4,000 K lights are the ones that you've seen on some car headlights coming at you.
And just like that car coming at you, the AMA report states the same amount of light overhead can be very blue and very blinding.
They are about 29% blue light, which you can't see, but that light rattles around inside your eyeballs, particularly as you get older, and that blue light can be very harmful. It causes glare.
The AMA calls it disability glare, an impairment that the report says causes a veil of illuminance, which leads to worse vision than if the light never existed at all. In other words, in some cases with LED street lights, the AMA report states you'd be better off driving in the dark.
Those are strong words.
Well, that's what's in the report.
That glare is apparent if you drive through the Lytle, Ohio's longest vehicle tunnel. Workers are installing new LED lights on the side walls, and as you can see, they produce a lot of glare.
Does that concern you?
Well, the way you describe it certainly concerns me.
After I brought the concerns about the glare of those new lights in the Lytle Tunnel, an ODOT spokesperson wrote to me stating there is an ongoing conversation about what kind of lights will now be installed in the tunnel. There are other potential health effects of the new LED lighting in the AMA report too, including a disruption of sleep quality. While that sounds trivial, the AMA says it's serious because the bright blue-filled lights affect the production of a compound we all need to fall asleep.
It turns out that exposure to large amounts of blue light interferes with melatonin production.
According to the AMA, the new LED lamp is at least 5 times more powerful than high-pressure sodium lights at influencing melatonin suppression. And while it's still being studied, the report states some evidence supports a long-term increase in the risk for cancer, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and obesity from chronic sleep disruption associated with exposure to brighter light sources in the evening. And that risk rises when you drive under LED lights.
The effect seems to last long after you park the car or pull into the garage.
Or live next to the bright lights.
Some of them have to make accommodations like putting blackout curtains and taking other measures to prevent that light from getting into their houses because they were noticing that they were having difficulty sleeping as well.
According to Duke Energy, the highest concentration of LED lighting in the Cincinnati area is here at the University of Cincinnati, where 800 LED lights were installed at the request of the city, where students study and live.
Certainly we're aware of the report. We have our own internal team that's looking at it and certainly seeing if there are other steps that we need to take with how we're using LEDs on our system.
And according to that AMA report, the new streetlights are even causing confusion for nocturnal animals, killing insects, birds, and in some cases stopping fish from migrating. The U.S. Department of Energy, which pushed for these low-energy lights, is disputing the AMA report, saying there's nothing inherently different about the light emitted by the LEDs.
Tomorrow, the city and county of Honolulu will start switching out tens of thousands of light bulbs and street lamps, putting in LED lights.
St. Petersburg streets will get a lot brighter. The city will soon change over all 31,000 streetlights to LED bulbs.
Newer, brighter lights like these, they're now getting put in neighborhoods all across Tampa.
City leaders say this is going to make your neighborhood much safer.
40 different towns and cities across the state will now be able to convert to LED streetlights, including 5 right here in western Massachusetts.
Well, there are brighter days ahead, apparently, for the streets of Oakland. That's because new lights are being installed across the city. KRON4's Hazik Madyun says the lights will save energy and may actually reduce crime.
Next 3 years, the streets of Indianapolis are going to get brighter and safer, according to Mayor Joe Hogsett. Today, the mayor announced the next phase of Operation Nightlight.
Phoenix streets now shining a bit brighter. The city is swapping out old, outdated street lamps with new energy-saving LED ones.
Bright lights, big city? Not if you're trying to sleep at night. New street lights have led to sleepless nights in a Brooklyn neighborhood.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe Imbriano coming to you from Fullerton, California. This is the city yard that belongs to the city of Fullerton, and this is a graveyard of yesteryear's lighting technology. Different types of lighting, the Cobra head, high pressure sodium, these high voltage lamps that once dotted our residential neighborhoods and our city streets. Folks, this right here was a form of lighting that was used for decades to illuminate city streets with a frequency of light that was actually not harmful to human beings. These lighting systems may have used a lot of power, but they didn't hurt people. These lighting systems emitted orange light, and this orange light had a temperature of about 23 to 2500 degrees Kelvin. But the important thing about this orange light and these old street lights is that they did not suppress your melatonin when you were exposed to this lighting at night. As a matter of fact, orange light is totally harmless for the most part at night. That's why when you sit in front of a fire, it's really soothing. You tend to fall asleep if you sit there long enough. But if you're under a white light, which is what the LED lights have as their lighting, which is about 3,000 to 4,000 degrees Kelvin, depending upon what kind of lighting you get in your neighborhood, that interferes with your ability to sleep, folks, because the white light at night suppresses melatonin production, and melatonin is your sleep hormone. You know, when I look at this pile and how they replaced a technology that was actually in place in our neighborhoods for our benefit, and how they've replaced this technology with something that is a weapon, it makes me really sad and it makes me really concerned, because people have no idea what's being done to them. You see, folks, the LED lighting that they've replaced our streetlights with, they've removed these Cobra heads and these other lighting systems, and they've put these really sleek, new, little thin, wafer-thin weapons in place, folks. I'll tell you what, why don't you take a look at some of these lights at night and look at them with your eyes and tell me how they hurt your eyes, because they're bad for your eyes, folks. What I'm here to talk to you about today, folks, is LED lighting is an agenda. LED lighting is a weapon. LED lighting has been deployed not as an energy savings, although that is the guise under which it has been put in place, but it is actually something designed to wear you down and to shorten your lifespan and make you sick and die prematurely, because it interferes with your ability to sleep. It interferes with your ability to heal. It interferes with your ability to regenerate. It takes years off your life. Every night that you don't get enough sleep takes time off of your life. These systems that have been put in place are harmful. LED lighting on streetlights is a forced lighting exposure. You have a choice in your home. You can use incandescent lighting. You can choose to continue to use incandescent lighting in your home and pay the extra money for the electricity, and it's a nominal amount. But when you're driving around in your car at night, when you're walking around at night, if you want to take a stroll after dinner, you are forcibly exposed to light frequencies that are harmful to your body, because these light frequencies are in the bright white part of the spectrum, and that tricks your body into thinking it's still daytime, and it suppresses your sleep hormone. Now, folks, what happens when you don't secrete enough of your sleep hormone is you can't fall asleep and you get insomnia. Now, another thing that's causing a lot of insomnia right now is Wi-Fi exposure. because microwaves also suppress melatonin production. And we have a situation where people have Wi-Fi in their homes and have put LED lighting in their homes, and now they have two things suppressing their melatonin production, which is your sleep hormone. So it's doubly impossible for these people to fall into the proper deep sleep that they need to heal and regenerate and have their minds reshuffle all the files and have clarity when they wake up in the morning and feel refreshed. The Wi-Fi and the wireless systems in the homes and the LED lighting systems that have been deployed on the streetlights and even the projector beam lights on the cars now are bright white. You see, folks, this is all part of an agenda to wear us down. They could really easily produce an LED light for streetlights that is a warm orange color with a much lower color temperature. Yes, it costs a little more money. It all has to do with the type of powder or phosphor they use inside the diode, but that's not an issue. There shouldn't be a price on health, especially when it's not that expensive. But they have chosen to use the moonlight frequency for these LED lights. Now, moonlight is a cool white light. Moonlight induces sepsis reactions and sepsis mechanisms in biological organisms. Moonlight is only supposed to be exposing itself to humans under a full moon strength one night a month. And what they've done, ladies and gentlemen, is they've given us the full moon lighting spectrum every single night of the year. Sepsis is a decay process. When you think of sepsis, think of pus. Think of degradation of dying sick biological material. Think about that reaction. Sepsis processes are not something you want to have yourself undergoing constantly, but when you're exposed to white light at night, that's exactly what happens. You know, I don't know what else to say except for that you need to wake up to what's being done to you, and you need to realize that a lot of things that are being rolled out as a benefit are actually designed to hurt you, because there is an agenda to lower the population. And yes, there are agencies and arms of the government that make sure that things are followed and adhered to, like the police and other agencies that make sure that we don't get out of hand and start questioning and really speaking out against things. But right now we still have a First Amendment, folks, and we can still talk to each other over the internet, and we can still tell the truth about things. And this is a very serious issue because it's not being discussed. You need to try to oppose the destruction of what was once a really warm, soft lighting that wasn't harmful when you decided to go out for a stroll at night. You know, it was just part of the landscape and you accepted it. But ladies and gentlemen, this is where it ends up. Because something that was invented and utilized for our benefit has now been replaced by something that is being utilized and deployed for our harm. LED lighting is a weapon, folks. LED streetlights are a weapon. It also is an agenda to impact and impair fertility. You see, folks, melatonin is a hormone your body produces as the sun goes down and it gets dark. As the orange light wanes and goes away and darkness falls, your body starts producing a sleep hormone called melatonin. A lot of things take place when your body goes to sleep. One of the most important things that goes on when a young girl goes to sleep is her eggs continue to mature. In the absence of melatonin or a disrupted melatonin level on a chronic basis, you will have young girls who will not form healthy eggs that do not come to maturity. LED lighting is a direct attack on human fertility, and it is by design, folks. Not only is it designed to wear your health down, it is designed to directly impact or impair fertility. That is a fact. So are microwave emissions. You are always under attack with the new technologies that are supposedly being sold to you as a blessing. Ladies and gentlemen, many of these accoutrements and conveniences that are being peddled to you are actually a weapon. Once again, the wrong spectrum of lighting at night is a detriment to human fertility, because white light at night, including the white light of your computer, including the blue light of your computer, suppresses melatonin production, which interferes with the proper development of the human egg in our young girls and in our mature women. Melatonin suppression also results in damaging the eggs, as well as chronic microwave exposure. Why do you think they call these things laptops? Do you know what a laptop does when it's kept in your lap? Do you know where the antenna is? Do you know what the microwave frequency coming out of the laptop antenna is? And do you know what that microwave frequency coming out of your laptop does to your ovaries? Well, it does the same thing to your ovaries as it does to your testicles. I know many men who now have testicular cancer, and it's not because they went jogging without any type of jockstrap. It is because of the microwave exposure from the laptops that have been kept in direct proximity to their reproductive organs. The same thing is going on with our young girls in the school who keep the iPads in direct proximity to their reproductive organs. Microwave emissions at the power levels being emitted from these wireless devices have been proven in scientific studies conducted by the United States military and other organizations to have found to cause, they have been found to cause morphological changes to the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, which is a subcellular component of the human egg. The smooth endoplasmic reticulum in the human egg is the little piece of the machinery in the human egg that runs the Zoner reaction. The Zoner reaction is the reaction that takes place when one sperm finally gets through. It hardens the egg so no other sperms get through. If more than one sperm gets into the egg does not become a viable human being. You see, folks, they're messing with the Zoner reaction with the microwave exposure, and it's intentional. They've chosen the specific frequency of 2.4 gigahertz to affect the human eggs. They've put the antennas at the bottom of the iPad and put the iPads in the schools and make sure that your kids have the iPads in their laps right in direct proximity to their reproductive organs, because they want to interfere with the egg quality. It has been shown in scientific studies that if you expose a rat to the same power level of a cell phone or an iPad for 15 minutes a day for 15 days and directly apply this to the area in proximity to the reproductive organs, specifically the ovaries of a female rat, that the ovarian reserves decline in some cases by up to 75%. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's for rats. Do you know what a human being can become susceptible to with the chronic exposures that are being foisted on these unsuspecting girls by these degenerate scumbags in our school district that have refused to heed these warnings for years? Well, I can tell you what's going to happen, folks. We're already seeing it. It's called chronic infertility. Ladies and gentlemen, humanity is under siege by dark, wicked, satanic, occultic, spiritual forces. These dark spiritual forces occupy the highest levels of power in academia, in medicine, in law, in education, and in all aspects of our society, even in the religious institutions. That is why the religious institutions are silent on these issues. It is up to you to use your wisdom, judgment, and discernment to preserve your lineage to ensure that your posterity exists and continues. You must protect your children. You must warn others. You must remove all wireless devices from your home. You must get rid of all LED and compact fluorescent lighting that emits at anything above 2700 degrees Kelvin. It's real easy, folks. If it's white, get rid of it. No white at night. Do you understand me? No white light at night. Just remember that. No white light at night. No microwaves, no Wi-Fi, no wireless. Find a way to plug your stuff in, folks. This is Joe Imbriano coming to you from Fullerton, California, ladies and gentlemen. This is just another warning to those of us who've been created in God's image and who realize what we are and why we're here. And may the best be to all of you. Godspeed.